Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back to top 5 boxers of the heavyweight division. And you know, a lot of people have been asking me who are the top 5 boxers of the heavyweight division. And you know, a lot of people won't give these guys credit for being in the top 5, for being in the positions that they are. Guys are trying to fanboy for people. They don't bring any facts behind it. And you know, they're too involved in their feelings to be truthful and unbiased about it. So that's what we're going to do, is give you the most unbiased, truthful list of the top 5 heavyweight boxers today. And let's just break it down. And we start with, at number 5, Andy Ruiz Jr. And Andy Ruiz Jr. has to be a top 5 heavyweight boxer, period. You know, he's a former unified heavyweight champion. He lost a close decision to Joseph Parker. Many people felt like that could have went either way. And, you know, and so basically a lot of people have been coming to me saying that, you know, Andy Ruiz Jr. wasn't a top 10 fighter when Anthony Joshua fought him. Well, you know, he may statistically not have been in the top 10. But here's an interesting thing. The fight against Joseph Parker alone had shown that Andy Ruiz Jr.'s skill set, ability, and where he was as a fighter should have been a top 10 level type of fighter, period. And we all know skill for skill. He was a top 10 level fighter. He's a brilliant fighter. He has elite level hand speed. Andy Ruiz Jr. is number 5 on our list. And look, we also have to be honest and unbiased about Andy Ruiz Jr. He has a better resume than Deontay Wilder right now. Right now, he has a better resume than Deontay Wilder. He's a former unified heavyweight champion. We just got to be real about it. People don't like the facts, but we're not here for your feelings. We're only for the facts. Let's just keep going. Number 4 on our list is Deontay Bronze Bomber Wilder. And look, we got to be honest and unbiased about Deontay Wilder, whether we like him or not, whether we think he's elite or not. He is the former WBC world champion, and he had 10 consecutive title defenses without a loss or a draw. So, you know, you got to think about it. Defend your title 10 times consecutively without a loss or a draw. Whether they're tomato cans or not, I do respect that streak of title defenses, and he was the former WBC champion, so I will give Deontay Wilder the credit. He's a dangerous fighter due to the power in that right hand, and he's always in every fight simply because he has that right hand. But ultimately, he is a one-dimensional fighter. He's a one-trick pony. He lacks fundamentals, and his best win on his entire resume is a 40-year-old Luis King Kong Ortiz. Think about it like this. Deontay Wilder, for all of that and all of these fights he has, 40-plus fights, and this guy's best win is a 40-year-old Luis King Kong Ortiz. Let that sink in for a minute. His resume lacks unifications. His resume lacks a lot of top-level fighters. You fighting an old guy out of the nursing home in Luis King Kong Ortiz, an ancient alien mummy. And, you know, this guy, his fundamentals are poor. He's been protected most of his career, but since he was the WBC heavyweight champion, since he did have 10 consecutive title defenses without a loss or a draw, we will give him credit. But let's not pump up Luis Ortiz to be some elite fighter when he's 40-plus years old. The guy has high blood pressure, stamina issues, and he's never been a world champion. Let's not pump these guys up to levels they don't belong. We respect what Wilder's done in the sport, but at the end of the day, you know, he's number 4 on our list. Let's get it. In number 3 on our list has to be Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. You're absolutely right. Dillian Whyte is ranked above Deontay Wilder, and we just got to be honest about it. You know, Wilder getting stopped by Tyson Fury in such a brutal fashion pretty much exposed he was one-dimensional. The fact that in all of his other fights he was losing the majority of those rounds. So we got to give credit to Dillian Whyte. A lot of people don't like Dillian Whyte. A lot of people have issues with Dillian Whyte. But let me tell you about Dillian Whyte. He literally has the best resume of all the top contenders in the heavyweight division right now. So whether you hate him or you love him, he has the best resume of all of the top contenders. Doesn't matter if he struggled in some of those fights. Doesn't matter if he, you know, had difficulties or not. He got the win. Fight after fight after fight after fight, and that is something that can be respected against better competition than, you know, what a sitting world champion like Deontay Wilder was facing. You look at it like this, you know, he has 2 names on his resume that sticks out above others, and that's Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, you know, was a top 10 heavyweight fighter, so you give him credit. Oscar Rivas, undefeated, dangerous puncher. You give him credit. These are fights he didn't even have to take. He didn't have to take these fights, and yet he took two dangerous opponents, two dangerous fights, and got the victories. Period. You got to give him credit. He's only lost one time in his career, and that was to an undefeated Anthony Joshua. And we know how good Anthony Joshua is. Dillian Whyte is currently on an 11 consecutive fight win streak. 11 consecutive fight win streak. He's the #1 WBC heavyweight contender. He's a dangerous, body attacker. He has an elite level left hook. Dillian Whyte is an absolute problem for the heavyweight division, and a lot of people don't want to fight him. A lot of guys duck offers. At the end of the day, you love or hate Dillian Whyte, give him the respect he deserves. He is number 3 on our list. Number 2 on our list, it has to be no other than Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. And look, let's just be honest and unbiased about it. Tyson Fury is an elite fighter. Tyson Fury is one of the best boxers we've seen in the heavyweight division, skill for skill. He's the current WBC heavyweight champion, the Ring Magazine champion, and people even regard him as the lineal champion, although that's disputed to some degree. He's undefeated. But, the thing about Tyson Fury as well, he only holds 2 top wins on his resume, if we're being honest and unbiased. His best wins are against Deontay Wilder, who pretty much had one of the weakest resumes in the heavyweight division. And some people use the Deontay Wilder win to catapult him, as the best heavyweight and this and that. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder was a one-trick pony, fundamentally flawed, and who's never fought an elite top heavyweight in his career. He ducked the Anthony Joshua fight. He ducked the Vladimir Klitschko fight. So we never got to see how good or bad Deontay Wilder is, because he never fought anyone like that. He never fought Anthony Joshua. He never fought Dillian Whyte. He never fought Klitschko. So, while we give Tyson Fury all the credit in the world for beating Deontay Wilder and in style, disarming him, leaving him, one-dimensional in the ring, embarrassing him, we can't overrate that win for more than what it is. He has 2 good wins in his career, and they're Deontay Wilder, 2 top wins, Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko. And the funny thing about the Klitschko win, he never gave him a rematch, even though he was contractually obligated. So we never got to see what would have happened in that rematch. Imagine this. Imagine if Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder would have fought that one time, and then Deontay Wilder would have refused to rematch Tyson Fury. We would have never saw that spectacular rematch, and we would have never, and it was a completely different outcome from the first fight. So, you got to be honest and unbiased. You don't know what would have happened. Klitschko has a career, where you see that he's a Hall of Famer, and you've seen that he's come back from defeat before. So we simply don't know. And at the end of the day, he was robbed of that opportunity by Tyson Fury. At the end of the day, Tyson Fury is an elite fighter, but he's number 2 on our list, and we just got to be honest and unbiased. He also has controversial wins over John McDermott, and he even had a victory in which he struggled against a guy like Otto Wallin. And, a lot of people felt that fight should have also been stopped due to the cut that opened up on his face. Tyson Fury, taking nothing away from him, he's undefeated. He's the current WBC Ring Magazine champion. All the respect and credit in the world. And, he's one hell of a fighter. But at the end of the day, he is number 2 on our list, and a lot of people will not be honest about that. And number 1 on our list is no other than Anthony Joshua. And we got to be honest and unbiased. Anthony Joshua is a 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. And unlike Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua collected those belts one by one. He went out and beat fighter after fighter after fighter to do it. And not only is he a 2-time heavyweight champion, unified heavyweight champion, he also has the best resume in the entire heavyweight division. Now, you're going to have people that argue that point, and let me explain to you how do you spot a casual boxing fan. Anybody that argues that there's anybody in the heavyweight division that has a better complete resume than Anthony Joshua is in complete and utter casual. Let's just be honest and unbiased. Either they're a casual or they're a Tyson Fury fanboy. And look, I'll say this. Tyson Fury is an elite fighter. Him and Anthony Joshua are neck and neck. But Anthony Joshua has put in the most work. He's put in the best work on a consistent basis. Look at it like this. You look at And you know, even people were arguing that Wilder had a better resume, which was insane to me. I mean, think about it like this: Wilder's best win of his career was Luis Ortiz, and that's it. That is it. His best win was Luis Ortiz. You look at, you know, Tyson Fury, best wins on his resume is a Klitschko fight in which he never gave Klitschko a rematch, and it's a fundamentally flawed Deontay Wilder. Those are his two best wins. They're quality wins, they're good wins, but at the end of the day, what else is on his resume? He has controversial wins over McDermott. He has a controversial win over Wallin in regards to that cut. So at the end of the day, if we're being honest and unbiased, Anthony Joshua has no controversial wins. If he either won or he lost, and when he wins in style. Let's just be honest and unbiased. He lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., came back and won in dominant fashion, leaving no doubt, no question about the type of fighter he is. He's never lost to a low-level fighter, period. He's undefeated. He's, not undefeated, but, he only has one loss. He's a unified two-time heavyweight champion. You give him all the credit in the world, and he avenged his one loss of his career. You have to respect that from Anthony Joshua. At the end of the day, Anthony Joshua has the best resume in the heavyweight division. And just listen to these names. He beat Dillian Whyte, Vladimir Klitschko, Alexander Povetkin, Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker, Charles Martin, with just 22 fights in 6 years. There's no other heavyweight putting in that kind of work. We got to be honest and unbiased. Anybody that's in denial of that is in denial of the absolute truth. Not only that, Anthony Joshua's already beat two of the top fighters on this list as well. Let's just be honest and unbiased.